Hello, my name is Amy Morgan, and I'm one of the high school counselors here at Georgia Cyber Academy. And I wanted to talk to you for a bit about your PSAT score. So hopefully you've had a chance to look through the email we sent and access your scores. So some of you have probably already viewed your score, so this may just be a refresher for you. But if not, I just wanted to give you some information on how you can look at your scores in the College Board portal, and also how you can use them, you can use them now to benefit your preparation for the SAT. So when you access your scores, you should first see something that looks similar to this, and it's going to have your most recent test scores at the top. So this particular, and this is not a real student, so this is just a demo, but this one, has the SAT. Yours should say PSAT, unless you've taken the SAT, probably not. So it should say PSAT. I'm just going to click on her PSAT scores. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to have your report details. And at the top, you're going to have your total score, and then you're going to have your two test scores. You have your total score, and then you have evidence-based reading and writing and math. And the sum of those two test scores is going to equal your total score. So below that, you're going to have your score range, and then you're also below that. Oh, hold on one second. I want to tell you that throughout your College Board account, when you're accessing your scores, you're going to see these little eyes with the circle, your information icon, and it's going to give you more details about what you're looking at. So I know that when I first started looking at these scores, I would click on this all the time just so I could better understand what I was looking at. So if you ever have a question about what you're viewing, I highly recommend that you click on that. It will explain things thoroughly for you. Okay, so below your evidence-based reading and writing score and your math score, like I said, you're going to have your score range, and then you're also going to have these bar graphs. So the first bar graph on the left is going to show you your score and then where you fell in terms of meeting benchmark. Now, benchmark deemed by College Board, or how they define benchmark on this test, it's how ready you are for college. So it is in terms of college readiness. So basically that means if you are in the green and you've met benchmark, then you are 75% likely to pass or make a C in an entry-level college course. So that's where you're wanting to be. That's your goal, is to be in the green. So this particular student has not met benchmark, is not quite there in terms of being college ready in reading, in your evidence-based reading and writing. And it tells you down here, it's in red with exclamation point, says your score shows that you need to strengthen your skills to be ready for college. Now, if you have that on your school report, it's okay. So don't panic or don't get down on yourself. One of the great things about the PSAT is that it is, it's preliminary SAT, so it's a first step. It's getting you ready for the actual SAT. So make sure that you understand that. So again, if you see that you're not quite there, if you're in the red in terms of meeting benchmark, it's okay. You just know that you've got some work to do. So that's the first graph you see. And then the second one gives you a projected SAT score. So this is just projecting what you could have made on the SAT if you actually took the SAT on that same day. If you look over at this student's math score in terms of benchmark, she has not met benchmark, but she's in the yellow. She's closer. So it says your score shows that you're almost on track to be ready for college, but you need to keep building skills. So, she's in the yellow, so she's not met benchmark, but she's close in her math score. So below each of those, you're going to see where it links you, or it makes reference to what's called Khan Academy. Hopefully you've heard of Khan Academy by now. But Khan Academy is a company that paired with College Board to offer free personalized test prep for students. And the great thing about the PSAT is that if you link your Khan Academy account to your College Board account, they will look at your PSAT scores and set up a personalized study plan just for you. So they're not offering like just general SAT tips. They're taking your scores on the PSAT and they're fine-tuning your areas that you need to work on, and they're going to give you a plan for that. So it's optional, and it doesn't just happen. You have to link those two accounts. So make sure that you take time to do that. And if you're on the College Board site, you're going to see Khan Academy all over the place. And so you're going to have lots of opportunities to click on Khan Academy and link those two accounts together. So below that, you are going to have your percentiles. So percentiles just tell you how you've done in comparison to other students. So you have, and they break it down really even more specifically. So the top percentile tells you how you did in comparison to other students in the United States. And then the bottom percentile tells you how you did in comparison to other students who actually took the test. So the top percentile tells you your comparison to other students who may or may not have taken the PSAT, but the bottom one tells you how you did in comparison to students who actually took the test. Percentile, so like if you're at the 41st percentile, that means that you scored better than 41% of the students in the United States, okay? So the higher the percentile, but basically the better you did on the test. If you scroll down even further, this is my favorite part about the PSAT. So it breaks down reading, writing and language, and math. So your evidence-based reading and writing, so this score right here is made up of these two tests. Okay, so reading and writing and language make up your evidence-based reading and writing score. Your math score stands alone, but it is, it does break down for questions that had a calculator and questions that did not have a calculator. But here's the cool thing that you can do. So for your reading, you see how many questions, correct answers, incorrect, and omitted. But if you click here, it's going to actually pull up the questions. So what you can do at this point is you can filter the questions. So you can filter them based on the ones you got right, the ones you got wrong, the ones you left off, area of difficulty, and then also by your subscores. So let's say you just want to look at the ones you got wrong. You can do that. You can filter that way, and then you just click on a question and the question number, and then the actual question pops up, and it tells you. And hopefully, it hadn't been that long ago since you took the test, so hopefully it'll look somewhat familiar. You can look at the question, how you answer the question, and then an explanation for the right answer. So I think that's just lovely that you can do that. I highly recommend that you do that. And that goes for all of the, that goes for all of the tests. That goes for the reading test, the writing and language test, and the math test. So all you have to do is click on this box down here, and it will pull up all of those wonderful test questions for you. Okay, and then you have your cross-test scores. So this just shows how you did with questions that have the science and social studies integrated. So, they did not ask you questions specifically related to your knowledge on, areas in science and social studies. But they did integrate those two content areas throughout the test with their questions. And then you have subscores, which breaks it down even further. And you can look to see how you did here. So the subscores, like for example, with your math, your subscores break it down to the heart of algebra, passport to advanced math, problem solving, and data analysis. So you can see how you did in each one of those areas, in particular to your math score. So you can see, excuse me, this particular student needs to work on her advanced math skills. Okay, so quickly, right up here at the top again, I'm going to show you a couple more things. This test questions tab is what we just looked at, so it just gives you another way to access that. Skills Insight will break down each test, and it will tell you how you did and what you need to work on. So it's just it's more of a narrative version but it does break it down pretty specifically. So it will give you some suggestions for things that you can do to increase your scores. And that's for each one of these tests here. We'll do that for you. For National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test is another reason that students take the PSAT, and this is just for 11th graders, are the only ones who could qualify. So you can see whether, how you did in terms of National Merit on this one. And if you're a 10th grader and you see that you did not meet the entry requirements, it's only because of your grade level. So if you're a 10th grader and you scored really well on this, you want to make sure you take it again next year, so you could potentially qualify for National Merit Scholarship. Another wonderful thing is called AP Potential. And AP Potential is going to show you, based on your scores, some advanced placement courses that could be a good fit for you. So advanced placement courses are challenging, rigorous courses that you could take and potentially earn college credit for. So what you can do is you can look at all the AP courses that College Board offers, and it will also tell you which ones GCA offers. And if you have a question about any of the classes that GCA offers, you can ask your counselor or me or Ms. Cooper, and we will be happy to help you along with that. One really neat thing, I don't think I explained this up here. Okay, so if there's 3 dots, then that means that you show strong potential for that particular AP course. If you have 2 dots, you have some potential, and if you have 1 dot, then the potential is not quite yet indicated. So you can see here, like the student has some potential for a psychology advanced placement course. And another thing that you can do, if you already know a major that you're interested in college, you can click on that particular major, and it will show you advanced placement courses that are related to that particular major. So it'll just kind of give you some tips and some suggestions for AP courses that could be related to that particular major or field. Okay, so once again, there's a lot. I mean, there's so much that you can do with your PSAT scores, and it's not really something that you can just jump in and do in like an hour. So it's something that you want to pop in your score report and try to just, take a couple minutes here and there to look at those questions to make sure you link your Khan Academy and your College Board accounts, and make sure that you take advantage of all of the resources that are now available to you since you took the test. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Ms. Cooper, and our emails are in the email we sent you previously, or even with your own specific counselor, we'd be happy to help you as well. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.